Hello, Adam Troy here. What's going on? Ventures in Paradise. As we traverse the internet and the world and the world's issues. The reason you watch me is because I'm always right. Eventually. The prognosticator of truth and righteousness. Well, someone's a little Rush Limbaugh here. I wouldn't consider myself a Rush baby. I would consider myself missing Rush for sure. Let's talk about the meeting with Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine's not invited. It's a good move by Trump. There's obviously something going on over there in Ukraine and always has been. It's a lever for us in our clandestine operations to put the screws to Russia. Always has been since World War II. The things that we've done up in there and the people that we've supported, they haven't been good people. There's a reason why the Russians call the Ukrainians Nazis. And it's not just for ployable and platitudes. It's actually, they mean it and they have reason for it. I'm not on the side of Russia, believe me. I mean, my parents told me about how they had to hide under their desk when they were going to school because of the 50s and the Russian threats and the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Berlin Wall and Rocky IV and Chuck Norris and Sylvester Stallone and Seagal and Van Damme going over there and whooping these Russians' asses. The first PG-13 movie in the world, what was it? Red Dawn. Patrick Swayze. I was 13 years old when it came out. And I went to it. And it was about the invasion of Russia. You know, that would have been 13, so 1983. Something like that. Now, the way that Vladimir has acted and the way that he has taken control of that country and has eviscerated elections and whatnot is pathetic. I really had high hopes for Russia when the Berlin Wall fell and the Soviet Union fell, that maybe they could be welcomed into a freer society or a free society. And I really believe that that's what the people believe that too. Until recently. The Ukrainians take nothing. We give them all this equipment. We give them all these advantages, and they just sit in a trench, or they sit way back and shoot drones off and don't engage. They are engaged. They repel the engagement. That's all they've done, and they just continually and they think that after long enough of this attrition that we'll come in and we'll save them. Well, we don't want a nuclear Holocaust, and we definitely aren't going to start a nuclear war or push Vladimir into a situation where he's shooting off nukes into Europe or into Ukraine for Russians. Right? Ukrainians, y'all are Russians. You act like Russians. You fight like Russians. You might want to be free. Your government is different. You want to be separated from them. Okay, I get that. But you are all Russians. If you what would be a great move by Vladimir Zelensky at this point. This is radical, but they need to march to Moscow and try to overthrow the Russian government. And they should make that their goal, to get the Russian people to be behind them, to free the Russian people. That should be their purpose. Because the way that they fight and the way that they act, like we are mandated to tell them that we have to give them stuff. Otherwise, the world is going to end. The world won't end. We don't have to give you anything. Freedom isn't free. You have to move forward. You have to take ground. You have to win. Sitting in a hole, shooting off FPV drones and bitching about how you don't have anything when you have our F-16s, you have our HIMARS, you have our tanks, you have our personnel equipment, Bradleys, A1As. You take no ground. So, Ukrainians, we don't need you at the meeting with Vladimir Putin. We can get Vladimir to stop shooting bullets at you by utilizing economics. And since you take no ground, you really have no place in the meeting. You're not a threat. You're just a shit talker that sits behind some ditch. You're not even willing to fight for your own country. You take no land. And I am a supporter of yours. I want you to win. And you have. Congratulations. You've won. Sit tight. Our president will negotiate the terms of this surrender. And you can bitch about it and then accept it. You've put yourself into this position, Ukraine, your government, by their actions. And they hold on to one thing that they hold dear. That is, the West is going to come save them. They've bet big on it. That's why they don't move. No, we have given you F-16s, Bradley infantry fighting vehicles with HIMARS and A1A Abrams, and we expect you to mass and get your ass moving. Take those jets and blow up all the shit and then move forward. Take those jets, blow up a bunch of shit and move forward. If you lose the jets, so what? But you play too safe as... you'll play so safe that all of our economies will be in utter turmoil and distress because of the way that you fight, and we can't interact because we could cause a nuclear war. So it's up to you, you badass Ukrainians who fight. You don't fight. You're just a defensive. You're a defensive team. That's it. That's all you are. So Zelensky, we are showing you as a feckless leader who's incompetent and potentially corrupt. And we don't even need you at the meeting. Hopefully you can explain to your people, and you can tell them why there's no elections and how you've become a dictator now or whatever. Be better if you just went back into comedy and fucked off. Adam Troy out. Adventures in Paradise continues tomorrow.